Miss Shellie.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm doing awesome.
You're good?
Yeah.
You just got back from state
We did.
a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
How are you? How are you now?
I'm
What does after state
you
look
know,
like for
actually there's a lot of energy after state this time. So this is the first year where we haven't, in the last 5 years, we've won either first or second, and this year, so the last 5 years, first or second, and this year was fourth.
Right.
But there were some really great wins.
Right.
We got second in military, we have a young team, but it's actually like energized the girls. You know,
so
it's
crazy
yeah.
because I have felt that just
Yeah.
with me. And so it's interesting that you're saying that also.
Oh,
because
yeah.
last year after state and this year after state are two totally different feelings for me. And technically this year was worse for us than last year.
Right.
So
but I think, you know, we on the way home from state, all the girls that were on the bus, we got to process, okay, we were sad and cried and we were, you know, we talked about funny things, but then we just talked about, well, what are we gonna do now?
Right.
And if this doesn't feel good, what are we gonna do to change it for next year? And so it really made them kind of just get energized and excited, and we have girls getting in classes with the local studios and
awesome.
signed up with gymnastics because they know we just need to up our game in the technique department.
Right.
People will say, oh, dance is so ambiguous, you know, we don't know what they're gonna pick, and I really don't feel that way. I feel like we got what we deserved, what we earned this year.
Right.
And I feel like Duchesne was awesome. There were so many great teams this year that stepped up, and
well, okay, this is my third year being involved.
Yes.
And for the first 2 years, it was basically 2 teams for the most part. But this year there was, I would say, 5,
right,
6, 5, yeah.
yeah, they were all competing for that top spot. And so it was just really competitive this year. We had a young team, and the girls just need to step up.
Right.
We're just gonna move forward, and also, you know, we have some girls on our team that are super committed, and I do think they gave a first place effort this year, but I think we had some girls that didn't give a first place effort, and so we talked about that too. If you don't want to be on this team, we're gonna work really hard. You know what it's like, and next year we're gonna even be more hungry.
Right.
Then you don't need to be on here. We still love you.
I just get so excited hearing you talk. I'm like ready for next season to start.
I know, yeah. So we're like, I won't be mad at you if you don't want to try out. I still love you, but we want the same like-mindedness on the team, so that the girls that are are all in and working so hard, they deserve teammates that feel the same way.
Agreed.
So
I agree with you completely.
but the 8th graders coming up, I teach an 8th grade dance class, and so I've been talking to them all year and kind of giving them the same spiel that we need people that really want to work hard, and they're getting excited. They're coming to me saying, what do we need to do? How do we make sure we make this team? And so I'm giving them skills they need to do, and attitudes, and effort level.
Right.
And so
I love it.
I think we're building for next year to be an awesome, epic year.
Awesome.
Which is great, because it's Maya's senior
Don't talk
year.
about it. Don't talk about it, because I will cry.
But every year the coaches, we never commit for more than 1 year at a time, because I'm going on my probably 12th year.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, I've done 11 full years, but and Emily, who's my right-hand woman, she's going on her 9th year.
Oh, wow.
And she's got a brown box and all these little babies.
Right.
But she is so good at it, and we love coaching together. And so every year we just say, we'll take it a year at a time. But all 4 of my coaches have committed to coming back next year. So everybody's excited. It's just, I don't know, that sometimes losing is what you need.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
To give you like just a jump start. Yeah.
Like,
so we feel like so optimistic. We've already got choreographers lined up. We've got ideas.
You don't even know. Like, I want to know it all.
I know. We'd like to be so secretive. We build the anticipation. And
do the girls know this?
That we have some choreographers, and that we have an idea for show. But show, they haven't even decided what show
I was going to ask you, because they announce it, is it every year? They announce
every year.
Props or no props?
Yes, we all get to vote.
Okay.
But it looks like the upper divisions really want to get rid of character, and they just want it to be hip hop, which us in 2A, we don't love that. No.
But which is really weird to me, because their hip hop is a full-on character.
Yeah.
So it's still a character, but you're just not using props.
Right.
And for us, it makes it better.
It makes it more interesting to watch when there's characters, and it changes it up. Yeah.
Right.
So they're leaning that way because that's what the colleges want. They don't do character in college.
Right.
If you're on a college team, you're just doing half times, and it's hip hop.
Right.
And so for their girls to get ready for college,
that's what they want.
They want hip hop.
I wish they could divide it. Bigger divisions, smaller divisions.
Yeah. So hopefully we're asking for that. In 2A, can we do what we want? And 3A really doesn't want to do it either.
Oh.
They'd
So,
rather, and
both
even
of us
4A,
do.
even 4A. But 5 and 6A really just want hip hop, so they're gonna make some decisions.
Hopefully they're
We get
in
to
our
vote,
favor.
but
Hopefully they're in our favor.
Our little 2A, we only have 12 teams,
Right.
you know, so our voices don't matter as much.
But we're a big, strong 2A
We are.
division.
We
2A
are.
is a very difficult division.
It is.
In my opinion, harder than 3A.
I agree.
Yeah, and I've
Yeah.
heard others say that too.
Yeah.
Well, this leads me to my next question.
Okay.
So, what does after state look like for you?
For
Do
what
you
we do?
take any time off?
Oh, for me?
mentally, physically, like what do you do?
Yes.
What does it look like for you?
Yes,
For
I
Miss
love
Shellie?
it. I love it. I love the spring,
Mhm.
but I love every season
Right.
for
I'm the
different
same.
reasons. Yeah, I
Mhm.
just love every season. I just
Mhm.
love life. We're blessed. But yes, we don't get up early. We don't have night practices.
Right.
The thing that I still do is I have to get ready for review.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're thinking and we're planning, and when it gets close to review, you know, we have night practices, but
Right.
it's a lot more relaxed for me.
Right.
I really enjoy it. January is like a tornado for
Tornado.
you, the families, but for my family.
But I can't imagine.
Yeah, we're
For
doing
you.
something
Yeah,
every
for the
night, every
coaches.
morning, every
Mhm.
weekend, and it's just so fun. I love January. I used to have kind of like seasonal affect disorder, just sad. I mean, you know, just how you get sad and blue in the winter.
Right.
Until I started coaching the drill team, and
You don't
I
like
tell
it.
this to everybody. Yeah, no, I love it. I love January. Like
Mhm.
usually after Christmas.
January's a hard month.
Yeah,
So,
it's just so fun.
Mhm.
January just gets me.
Well, it's exciting because
yeah.
you know, I mean, as a mom and having a drill team girl, daughter, you know, like, okay, all of their hard work is here. Come January, like we are ready to
Yes,
go.
we're ready to see
And it's
it.
just so exciting because there's a
come
huge
together.
transformation from even December to
January. There really
like,
is.
huge.
It's huge. Yeah.
And I saw that in our girls this
Yeah,
year.
I
too.
did too. They were on the up the
Mhm.
climb. We just
Yeah.
didn't quite make it
We
all the
didn't
way.
make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Oh, there's so much I could talk
Yes.
to you about today.
But yeah, no, I like to try and spend time with my own
Mhm.
kids. I only have 2 at home now, but
And you have a daughter that doesn't dance. Actually, both
yes,
of your
both
daughters
my
do
daughters,
dance.
yes.
So that's
My-
okay.
Yeah, my older daughter, she did when she was younger, but when she got to high school, she picked
She did
sports,
sports.
which is
Mhm.
great. She was great at. And
Right.
then my youngest one wouldn't even try. She did like when she was 3 years old, and then she was done. But
No,
she's
Mom.
actually so funny. She dances in her room all the time.
Well,
She
you
does
told me that. Yeah. You can hear up there pounding.
Yeah, she dances, but she's like a closet dancer. She'll dance in the bedroom, but not out in public. But
Right.
she loves sports.
Right,
So,
and she's good at it.
yeah, she is. She'll be good.
So
at it.
did you do sports or dance?
I did both.
You
I
did
did
both.
So yeah, I grew up in West Valley.
Okay.
Went to Hunter High, 5A school.
Right.
And I grew up dancing and playing sports, but I never did drill team. So when I got to the high school, it's really competitive up there. We had a drill team and a dance company.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried out for dance company, and I just told myself, if I don't make it, I'm going to do basketball. So I didn't make it. I didn't make it that first year. I tried out as a freshman, and so I started doing basketball. And so I played basketball through high school.
Okay.
And my senior year, I took some dance classes in the school, and
Mm-hmm.
the dance instructor, she said, "Why don't you try out again? You know, I should have taken you." And I said, "Well, I do basketball." And so anyway, she's like, "Try out again." So my senior year, I did both. I did dance
Oh.
company.
And that's interesting. It didn't discourage you enough to be like, no,
No,
I'm not going to.
No.
You went for it.
Yeah, because
I
there's
love
just so
that.
many people out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's so competitive, and I mean that's one thing that's awesome about Kanab is the kids can be involved in so many things.
Right.
But you have to pick one thing, and you have to focus, and yeah. So anyway, so I love when my kids do sports because
Mhm.
I'm a competitive person, so
Same.
I just
Same.
love anything, and I just love to see people find something they love and get really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Put everything into it.
I'm on the fence with my youngest. I'm
I
like, is
heard-
she going to dance or is she going to play sports? She won't tell me.
Oh.
But I'm trying to be very
Right.
open-minded.
You need to wait because it changes from year to
it
year.
changes
Yeah,
as we know.
every year
Yeah,
it changes.
Yeah, it changes. So
Yeah.
no, I just love being involved with whatever my kids do.
Yeah. Then you
I'm
wanna
here
do.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. So it's been fun.
Okay, so I think we've already gone over a bunch of these. They've
Okay.
just kind of like we've scrolled
Well,
through
going
them.
into the
Dance
next
is a big commitment. What is your family? How does your family react to
Oh,
your
wow.
commitment?
So it's just all they know now. You know, it was harder when my kids were little. I just have the best husband
Right.
ever.
You have a very patient.
I do.
kind- Yes.
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 And he's been a really like hands-on dad
Mm-hmm.
all throughout. He'll do any kind of housework. He makes the food. When the kids were little, he's just, you know, we like co-parented really well. It
Right.
wasn't like one was more important or the kids relied on one of us more than the other.
Well, there were probably times
So-
you were stuck at dance and not able to go watch
Yeah.
your kids
Yes.
do things like that. I'm sure
That
this
was
is
hard. That was hard. Yeah, it's more so for Macy. Macy kind of cared more than the boys. The boys were like, oh, if you're there, Mom. But Macy, it was a hard part of our relationship. But it was also good for her to see that I have my own ambitions, and if you're good at something, that's a great thing to show our daughters. Right. That if you're good at something and you can contribute to society, then do it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And you always
and they're just fine. You know, the kids
and they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. And she probably sees that now too, right?
She does.
Yeah. She's out of high school and married and
yes. Yeah. So she's good, and our relationship's great. But it is hard. It's you know, there's a price. Right. There's a price you pay for everything, and so you've got to know the price, pay the price, and accept it. Right. So I'm close to my drill team girls, but that's sometimes hard on my own family. Right. But we've figured it out, and and I've had a really good partner to help, so it's been good. They actually, you know, now that I've done this for so long, and I'm like, well, maybe I should do something else. Clay will say, this is when you can do it. Right. Like, we don't need you as much. But I don't know, you know, how long I'll do it. But yeah, we've got it figured out now, and it's just part of what we
from
do.
knowing you as a coach, you're very regimented. So I mean, down to the minute.
Yeah.
And as a parent, I appreciate that so much.
Thank you.
I know other teams are like, oh, they go over for 30 minutes or an hour, and I'm like, oh, not us. If we go over 10 minutes, they take 10 minutes off the next morning. Like and I think that is so good for the girls too. It keeps them on a tight schedule, and they know they need to get the work done within that time frame. Make it work, and I think that is important too, and it shows that we respect their time. And their family's time. Yeah, exactly. So I think they know exactly what to expect. Train my assistant coaches, and they do it too. Oh, I feel like if we say it's over by this time, it's over. It's over. And so that's why some of our practices say like 3-4 hours long on the schedule, and people are like, whoa, that's long. And I'm like, well, we don't dance the whole time. Sometimes we're chatting, we're trying on costumes. I'm a planner, and I think ahead, and I know if we need their time, I'm gonna tell them we need their time. Right. And then not go over. No, it's much appreciated. Oh, well, you're welcome. For sure. Okay, so how did you get into coaching? Oh, wow. Yeah, it wasn't what I wanted to do originally. So my bachelor's was in psychology, and then I had a dance minor, and I had a teaching certificate, but I could only teach dance and psychology. Okay. And so I was teaching at a studio, Red Rock Dance. I was just gonna. So we started that, myself and Kanab Utah. You remember Callie? Yes. So and Jenna's, I left, and then Callie still ran it for a year or two, and then Jenna took it over from there. But I was just getting to the point where my kids were young, and when I did the studio, I did it for about 8 years. And I was thinking, well, you know, I was gone all evening teaching classes, and then my kids would be home all evening. Right. So I had one little one left at home, but I wanted to do something in the day. And so I had this degree, and I, you know, benefits and retirement. I'm like, I need to get back into the school. So I emailed the principal one night. I just had a whim. It was Mr. Jackson, and I told him who I was, my degree. Would you have any kind of job for me at any point? Because we do teach psychology. I get to teach one section, but we need the core subjects here in these small towns. You kind of have to teach a little bit of everything. And so, anyway, he said, come in, I want to meet you. So we talked, and he said, would you want to teach English? And did you know it? Did you have any idea about teaching English? No. And I'm like, well, I like English because I feel, you know, I love psychology, the study of why we do what we do and people's behavior. And in literature, we get to do that too. We get to analyze the characters and why did they do this and what led them to this. And so I'm like, I could possibly do English. And so he just said, well, we have this job opening, and if you're interested, because we love you for the dance. He wanted me for the dance, I think, for the coaching and the. He said, get in at least one English class, and then when you come to the interview, the board or the members will see that you're serious. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that's a lot to do. Do I really want to go back to school? Know. Yeah. So I looked into it, and luckily from the state level, they had a kind of a pathway for if you were already a teacher. And you just wanted to add an endorsement. Right. Then it was kind of all online, and it was, you know, really reasonable, like $70 a class. Oh. So I'm like, I could do that. And then I was like, well, the class already started. Maybe, it's too late. But then I thought, well, I'll just email the professor. Can I get in? And he said, sure. Oh. So I got in. And so here you are. So you teach now at Kanab High School. What are your courses? I had to continue on and get all the endorsements. So it was like 23 credits. Oh, wow. So for it took me 4 years. That's a lot. So I wasn't thinking it would be that much. No, well, because I just did it so slow too. Right. Because I was coaching, teaching full time, had 4 kids. Right.
and then taking class. So
Right.
it took me 4 years, but now I teach language arts.
Okay.
So I teach 9th graders, 10th graders, and 12th grade language arts, like a couple sections. I teach social dance, which is so fun.
Right.
We have the co-ed dancing, and we do the ballroom. And I teach the middle school dance, and then I teach a psychology class. So it's a lot of prep. Like you have to prep for all those different subjects.
Do you have it down to a science?
Yeah, I'm getting there because it's been 10 years. And so, yeah, but I do love being a teacher. It's so fun. I love it.
How do you feel, what are your thoughts on Kanab High School?
Oh,
and the
it's
education?
amazing. I think we have a great
I think that we
education.
do.
Yeah,
I think it's
I do
amazing.
too.
All of my kids so far, some more than others, have graduated with associates or generals, at least generals, and some college classes. And I
Right.
love that we encourage that so much.
We can supplement that. If we don't have it here, we can help them, whatever level of intellect that they have. Yeah.
Right. I was just gonna
Because
ask that.
it is, we have our classes, and it's hard to teach the highs and the lows together, which we do a lot.
Right.
But we also have enrichment things for the highs and the lows.
Right.
So we have reading classes if they need more help with reading, or we have these college classes
Right.
that they can get into. And by the time they're juniors and seniors, they're really on a
ready.
track to.
I've never
go
felt
to
like
the
my
field.
kids were lacking
No.
in education here.
I don't think
at
so.
all.
I don't think so. And especially my experience in a 5A school, I felt lost with the teachers were great, but there's
Good
just so
comparison,
many
right.
people.
Now it's more one-on-one,
Yes,
and you know
there's,
the student.
you know the students, and then we have so many opportunities for our students.
Right.
We do like leadership
I think so,
opportunities and travel, and I think it's a great education. I don't think you lack by coming to this small school.
I don't either. I've had a lot of my clients have asked me that, and I am like, oh man, I feel like my kids do awesome. I hope that everybody else feels that way too. So I like to see it as from a teacher's perspective.
Yeah, I feel like they do. They have what they need, and we have a lot of great teachers here.
Yeah, I agree. Some, I think, let's see, were some still teaching when I was in high school?
Probably.
Huh, I don't know.
And I feel like
we won't date myself back to that.
I feel like our elementary school is excellent.
Oh, excellent.
They teach them how to read so
Yep.
well. They
Tylee does things in 6th grade or 5th grade that I'm like, I think I did that in high school.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe I did. I don't know.
All the curriculum's just being pushed out.
Yeah. They're smart little
So,
cookies.
yeah.
Okay, I have to rewind one little bit.
Okay.
2A Coach of the Year.
Oh yeah.
We can't forget about 2A Coach of the Year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like I can tell you from a parent standpoint,
Yeah.
when that happened, and just
You guys
all
are
of
so
Kanab
excited.
together,
Yeah.
I think you knew that.
I did know.
You
Yeah.
knew,
Uh-huh.
and we did it, and we were just like,
That was so fun. I
It
felt the
was
love.
so
I
great.
felt love. I love my parents, and I
Oh.
love our town. They do help. They're helpful for the kids, but I feel a lot of support.
That's
So as a coach, it is hard because, and I feel for some of these coaches, I have a team where I can have a lot of varsity.
right.
So I know it's hard when you
Well,
have
it's all
5 spots.
varsity,
It
basically.
is all
Yeah.
varsity. And some girls can't make all the dances, and that is hard, but I feel like we get the respect from the parents. I don't have very many of them questioning me.
Right.
And maybe we have, the credibility because we've done it for so long.
Right.
So, we have great Lariat parents. It's
Well, I
amazing.
will say, and I've said it, I don't know how many times, but I truly feel like this is one of the best programs
Oh,
in Kanab High School.
thank you.
Just so positive, so encouraging, so uplifting, so motivating,
Oh.
just like,
Thank you.
I love it.
We try.
I love it for my kids, and I feel like all the other parents, I
Love it for their
feel that
kids.
way as well.
Thank you. So, yeah.
So yes, congratulations
we try.
on 2A Coach
Thank
of the
you.
Year.
We try to perfect it every year. Try and work out the kinks, and
Mhm.
it's been a fun process. It's a
Yeah.
learning thing like everything else.
But I feel you have it down to a science, and you're very clear cut, and you're very this is how it is, this is what happens, and that's literally how it goes.
Yeah.
This is how much you pay. You can work it
Yeah.
off, whatever, and it's like you know what you're getting into from the very beginning,
Yeah.
and so you're not blindsided
Yeah.
by anything.
Thank you. Yeah. That's good.
So I was gonna ask you
yes,
about state
okay.
championships, and we've kind of covered that.
Yeah.
So total, how many do you
So
have?
we have 3.
Okay.
We have 3. Since
3
state championships.
state championships.
And so that was exciting because we got the first one ever in the school history,
Yeah.
and we had some great programs here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I always say, to get a state championship, everything, like the stars have to align.
Yeah.
You have to be in a great competitive bracket, you have to have the athletes, because sometimes our bracket was really hard because we were with bigger schools.
Right.
And so they've got it down to more of a system where you're with comparable school sizes, so
Mhm.
that helps. So you feel like you have even playing ground.
Right.
So we just got to this point where we worked out our kinks and we knew what we needed to do, and we've learned enough from the different years to give the product that the judges wanted. So anyway, it's so exciting. We won our first championship in 2019.
Yes.
2019, and that was just amazing group of girls. Oh my goodness, we just had the dream team.
Right.
And they were just so committed, and that's what it takes. It takes a lot of heart and a lot of commitment.
Right.
And then we won 2 years in a row, and that was exciting. And then
I'm getting goosebumps.
I know the next year we should have won because those girls, but it was those 10 that I had. My freshmen were kind of like the heart of our team. They were seniors, and we lost that year. We got second, but it was a COVID year. It was so wacko that year.
Yeah.
We didn't know if we were gonna have girls. They were swabbing everybody on Mondays to see if you could go to practice. We would go,
did that happen? Yes, that all happened.
But
like,
we'd line up and go get swabbed, and then all of a sudden 2 girls can't be there for 2 weeks. Like 2 of your main athletes, and you're like, oh, okay, just do what we can, you know.
But
so
to
it was our
take
year.
second at that.
Yeah, it was a good year.
Yeah.
And then the next year we came back, and that was Maya's freshman year, and that was a really fun year because we were total underdogs. And it was amazing. We had a little teeny team of 14, and they did have a lot of heart, and they had a lot of drive. And our freshmen that
We were
year,
going for the, what award were we going for? Friendship.
yes, but we can never seem to get it.
Yeah, we never get it.
Sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship award.
Yes, I told the girls,
it's okay,
I'm like,
girls, it's a building year.
Yeah.
We're not gonna.
Let's get the
We're not gonna
sportsmanship
place
award.
at state. We'll work for sportsmanship award.
Yes.
And then bam.
That was so fun. And we won off of a tie.
Yes.
And it just went in our favor.
Yes.
And some things don't go in your favor.
What's your saying?
So yes, it says, you could be lucky. Do you have it? You can be lucky.
When luck comes your way.
Yeah, so you can be lucky, but I'd rather be excellent, because if you're excellent, when luck comes your way, you're ready.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's what we strive for. We can't control the other teams, we can't control the judges all the time. But we can put a product out there that is so excellent that when it's our turn,
We're ready.
we grab it.
Take it.
And so that's all we can do. And it's a great life lesson, because life, you can only have control over yourself.
True.
And so they've got to get their minds right and their bodies trained, and then they're going to be successful.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
yeah.
Agreed. Okay, shifting gears.
Okay.
How long have you lived in Kanab?
So we've lived here for 20 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because my Travis, he's 19. We moved here when he was 1.
Ben, coming
I
from a
love
big
it.
city.
Oh,
Your
man.
husband is from a smaller town.
He is. He's from Tropic.
So how does that mesh
So
together?
he was wanting to end up in Tropic, so we were there for a little bit. But I was happy with Kanab.
Are you not so glad?
Yes, I'm so glad.
No offense, Tropic.
No,
but
it was just a little too small for me.
Yeah.
Just a little too small. I love small towns. My dad would say, when we would go on a road trip, I wanted to move to every small town. I'd say, Dad, this is so cute. Why can't we live here? We had to live in West Valley.
Well, you're living in the cutest small
I
town in
know,
Utah.
I am. He said, I knew you were going to end up in a small town because you wanted to move to every small town we drove through across the United States.
What do you think that is? Why? What draws you to small towns?
I don't feel like I had the community that we have here, the feel when I was growing up. I mean, we had our, our church community or the school community, but it wasn't as tight knit.
Well, that's why I'm doing this interview, is I want to know what the community is all about.
Yeah.
So I'm loving that you're saying these things.
Yes, I love it. And I tell the kids all the time, there's pros and cons, of course, you know.
For sure.
But because we want to get our kids out there and get them cultured in these small towns, so we want them to travel and things. But it's just so safe, and you just feel a part of something.
Right.
And everybody knows your kids, and everybody's looking out for each other.
Yes.
And
in a good way.
In a good way.
Yes, in a good way.
Yeah. So
I always say I live in a bubble, and I am
fine with
100%
that.
happy with my bubble.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I do want them to explore and do whatever they want to do. But I'm even finding some of my older kids, my son in particular, who was like, I'm never coming back to Kanab. He loves small towns, and he would like to. I don't know if he would come back to Kanab, but I think that he would. He's really like, you just change your mindset after you get out in the real world a little bit.
You do.
Yeah.
You realize what's really important.
And I love that people are able to come back here now.
Yeah.
They go, they get educated, they start their families, and they can come back, and they're growing our schools and our programs, and I love that.
It's
so much.
awesome. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so what is it like raising your kids here?
Oh, it's awesome. It's amazing. Yeah,
Do
the
you feel
safety.
they've been lack thereof with?
No.
I don't either.
I don't at all. I feel like they've been given every opportunity and extra
and your kids
chances.
have been very successful.
They have.
Yes.
Yeah, they
and
have.
you should talk about that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they have. Macy, my oldest, yeah, she came and she, you know, they were well liked.
Mm-hmm.
Like both of my kids have been homecoming king and queen, so that's been cool. So they're well liked by their peers, and they, Macy was a 3-sport athlete. She was on all the teams, you know, volleyball, basketball, track. Travis, my second son, he did basketball growing up and a lot of the sports, but then he narrowed it down to football and track, and he was really successful in track.
Amazing.
Really fast.
Successful, yes.
Yeah, and it's been fun. He's got some school records, and he's always gonna be able to come back and see those records and see, you know, the state championship. What are they called? Banners. Yes. So he's won 2 banners with his team, and it's just really neat.
Well,
it gives
to
you a
elaborate
prize.
on that a little bit.
Oh yeah.
He
Okay. So
ruptured his
Yes.
Achilles.
Yes. No, that was you.
No, that was me.
You're right. But you were
ACL.
Yeah, ACL. So in his senior year, he's a starting running back, you know, and we're just so excited for his senior year. We just want to see what he can do. And the first game against Beaver, who's our rivals, you know, the first run, like I actually think he ran the ball like 2 other times, and then he gets the ball, and he said that he decided he was going to go one way, and he decided last minute to go the other way, and he just got quick shift in his footwork, just popped his ACL, and it snapped, you know, his meniscus, and actually broke some cartilage. So he had like, when he went into surgery, there were 3 surgeries they had to do on him.
Oh wow.
And it was just so devastating for the team, for us. I actually went into a depression.
Oh, I would. Yes.
Because it's just, he worked so hard, and it was his turn to shine and be with his team. They had really great, you know, prospects for that season, and it was just devastating for him. And when we found out, we were hopeful, oh, maybe it's not that bad. And we got the MRI, and it was the worst it could be. Yeah.
Right.
And so, luckily, you know, Becky, our other coach, knew a guy, you know, and that's the other thing about small towns, you get the help.
I was gonna
And we got
elaborate on
into
that,
a really great surgeon, like, quickly. He got us in, the waiting list is, you know, 3 months or whatever. He got us in that next week. And they operated on Travis, August, like, 31st. And we were trying to get him back for track.
Right.
Because he had been a state champion in the 100, 200, 400. He didn't get a freshman year because of COVID, but his sophomore year and his junior year had won all of those races. But they had a state championship for the whole team his sophomore year, and junior year they got second. So anyway, we had lots of hopes. I mean, he was talking to his colleges for scholarships, and we're like, why did this happen? But luckily, and that's the other thing, is we got him in surgery and rehabilitated all in Kanab. Okay. A lot of people will drive to St. George.
I was in rehab with him with the Achilles.
Yes, you're
right. Yeah.
And so kudos to Brandon Stubbs.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, he's amazing. And because a lot of people, there's a program over there called Bridges that's kind of expensive. You drive over there, and they're supposed to bridge you back. And they're you know, and they wanted us to go over there. And Travis is so determined and tenacious that he's like, I can do it on my own. Like, I'll do what he tells me, and I'll do my own. Right. I'm not driving to St. George. He hates leaving the town. Right. He's like, he's like, I'm just
to do that almost every day.
Like, or 2 times a week. So anyway, rehabilitated him. It was just the best. He came back, and he had kind of a slow start, but by state, it was almost a miracle. He ran his fastest. He got 2 school records. And he won all of his races. And people are like, you can't do that. You can't do that coming back from an ACL. Luckily, with his sport, it's just straight. Yeah, right. He did have to quit doing long jump because that was too jarring. Yeah. But with his sport, because it was a straight line, well, there's a curve. But he came back and he won all of his races. And he just felt the support from all the community and Valley too. Right. Valley, we know a lot of people in Valley, which we just love. We love that community too, and they were all
which is still a part of Kane County School District.
Yes, they are. They're part of our district, and they just have excellent people over there. But everybody was so supportive and gave him lots of love. And yes, and he was just so successful, and now he's on a mission in Africa. So he's in Africa, and he has some verbal commitments, not commitments, but invitations for some colleges, so he wants to come back, and I think he wants to go to SUU and try, and he just wants to see what he can do.
Right.
Now, if he specializes,
Which I think he can do whatever he wants to.
Yeah, he's very,
He's
and by that time, his knee will be totally healed.
Right.
And so, yeah, he's doing great over there, and just learning the lessons of gratitude.
Oh.
He said, I didn't know, well, he did know, but he said he loves Kanab. And he said, I grew up in the best place on the earth.
See?
And now I'm living in the armpit. I won't tell you what country. Oh, he called it the dumpster. The dumpster of the world.
Oh,
just because they throw their trash everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
sad.
But he loves the people.
Yeah.
He loves the people, and
sure
they're
they love
just the
him.
great people.
Yeah.
But he's like, us, the hygiene over here.
Not so
Yeah,
good.
no, and just the living conditions, but they're
Yeah.
just poor.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad he sees that. He's learning to be grateful.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
He got
So-
outside his bubble.
Yeah, he got outside, and now he'll
Yeah.
want to come back.
Well, I feel like we've covered these
lots of
without
things.
even like
Okay.
going over my checklist. So one question I ask everybody at the
Okay.
very end is, what could you tell anyone wanting to move here and to anyone? Let's not
Anyone?
even be specific.
Okay.
If you could tell anyone about moving to Kanab, or what would you tell them? Actually, the real question is, if you could tell anyone wanting to move to Kanab right now, what would that be? Okay, that came out.
I would say come. It's so great here. And if you're not, you'll find your tribe. We have
Mhm.
lots of different
Mhm.
types of people here. I know some people worry about like they're not the predominant religion,
Right.
or you know, those kind of things. But we have all sorts of people here,
Right.
and we all live in friendship.
Agreed.
Yeah. And we don't have to believe the same things.
Right.
And that's one thing I really try and teach the kids in my classes, that you know, we're more the same than different. And we don't have to believe exactly the same thing, but we can all get along and live in peace. And it's a great place, and you'll find a tribe. You'll find somebody here, and you'll contribute to our community. We love new ideas and new people to come.
I feel like Kanab is becoming much more diverse
It
than
is.
it was like when I was growing up,
I
and
agree.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we need
I
that.
do.
We do need
Mhm.
that, and that's, yeah. You go to Africa and you see people you've never seen before, but Travis has had the opportunity to have other types of faiths and ethnic backgrounds in our high school. We don't have a lot, but we have
but there's
some.
some, yeah.
And so he knows how to interact with all people.
Right.
Yeah, and he's learning that. So
Right.
I say, come, you won't be sorry.
You won't regret it.
You won't regret it. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so
Yeah,
much
you're
for meeting
welcome.
with me today. I just love you, and
I love you
just
too.
think you're amazing.
You're one of my favorite people.
And I'm so happy for you. Coach of the Year.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you.